And we're back here, main event with the man, the myth, the legend, Uncle Lou over here as well. Of course, you can find him on VSIN. He's a I almost said a conspirator over there. That's not the case. You help him out
and
over
I'm
there.
way more myth than man or legend. So let's clean that up right now.
Of course, Gamblu.com as well. Uncle Lou's joins us every Thursday here as well. Big fight here in Perth, Australia this weekend. NHL playoffs going on. Kentucky Derby this weekend. I didn't even know that was coming up till yesterday. I was like,
giddy up.
Derby's this weekend as well. Uncle Lou's here. Uncle Lou, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Great weekend. Happy to be here. Our weather in Phoenix for May is October or March-like. I mean, literally, we're having beautiful kind of overcast days that aren't so scorching hot. It's been great. Hockey's gone great. And we got UFC to talk about, and we got a bunch of little teeny 110-pounders on horses running in circles.
Do they weigh 110 pounds, or is that just after breakfast?
I want to say they're more like 15 to 22, 115 to 122. I want to say I can.
Yeah. So I mean, let's get into that, right? Well, first of all, let's just tell everybody for listening, because we're in Australia this week. The UFC is. So we do get a lot of people, New Zealand, Australia, those Asian markets down there. A lot of people tune in, find us here as well with you. So tell everybody where they can find you and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I see that here, and I see that also in the Sneak Teep, where I can look at analytics. And I mean, I'm a rub two sticks together to get fire guy. So analytics and computerization ain't my bag. But I can see where people tune into Sneak Teep, and I'm so flattered that I get the diversity of countries that tune in. Thank you so much. It tells me simply that there are very dedicated gamblers of UFC that are listening to those things. Anyway, Gamblu.com. I do 2 podcasts a week for the UFC, which is the main sport for me. But I also cover NFL, College World Series coming right up, hockey playoffs, we're eyebrow deep in right now. So a lot going on this time of year. You can see we're scrolling down to show you all the highlights to the webpage, and basically everything is there. It's very simple because I designed it, not some young kid that understands computers. So again, we're rubbing 2 sticks together. And then
keep it simple, right?
Last and quickly, the San Xavier Del Bac mission is a tab that I've dedicated a part of the webpage to, because we contribute there. We like to bring light to the oldest mission in the United States, situated just south of Phoenix and just actually south of Tucson, a few minutes, 2.5 hours south of us now. They're doing great work there. There's a link to their webpage there. Any interested parties should really check them out. They do super work. We're happy to be just a small contributor in their well-being, because it's a great cause, indigenous to Arizona, and Steve lets me mention it every week.
Absolutely. So like I said, in this day and age, what the economy's doing, all of that stuff, if you're able to give to a charity, find your own if you don't want to deal with that, but find somebody to help out.
They're all good.
A lot of people need help these days out there as well. So no worries, Luke, but definitely check out, when is the weigh-ins this week, because we're in Perth, Australia. It's going to be overnight our time. So when are the weigh-ins? They got to be this morning or this afternoon.
Yeah, there's like 6 tonight, which is just, boy, how great is that? And I'm tickled for the people in Perth who get to, I mean, you should see them. They have these fights at 2, 3 in the morning.
Yeah, it's switching this year.
And the place is going nuts. Wait till you see them when it's 8:30 and everybody can go.
If you don't know, normally they still have these Australia fights at 7 p.m. our time. And like you said, that's like way early their time.
What we have to address is that they aren't at 7 p.m. this week.
No.
This week, the fights start at 1 a.m. if you're watching prelims, and 4 a.m. if you're going to get up for the bagels and beatdown section, the main event, the main card. So those are always fun. I have to, you were saying
eat your Fruit Loops with some blood on.
A latte and a left hook, an omelet with an omoplata. Any way you want to look at it, that's what you're going to be doing if you're watching fights. See how I fold all those fighting terms in there, Steve?
I love it.
I've said these before, obviously. So. Yeah, the undercard. Actually, there are fights on the undercard that I'm going to want to kind of be aware of. So, to me, it's what's funny is my system. It's work for me to see the start of the third period for the second hockey game at night. Usually, I just go to bed and at 2 a.m. look and see if I won or not on that game. And so, arising at 3 or 3:15 in the morning to me is sport. I mean, that's easy. I walk my dog at 5.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be no problem getting up and watching these fights. I think I kind of expected of myself to see most of them because I am in that business. I want to see how some of these kids perform.
Yeah.
And surely the main card I'll have investment in, and I'll want to watch what happens.
Absolutely. It'll be a lot of fun. But before we get to that, really quick, because I was talking Diamondbacks before you came on, I forgot to mention this, because I just don't believe it's real. So Ann chimes in, and Ann says, Steve, a local headline, the D-backs finally have a left-hand pitcher in the bullpen. It took only a month into the season. Yeah, I completely forgot to mention that. They sent Hoffman down, called up the young left-hander as well. Kind of just caught everybody off guard from that perspective. So we have to mention that here today in terms of the Diamondback.
Good for it. Was the young lady's name Ann?
Ann, yes.
Jeez, good for Ann for being on top of it.
Oh, she's a huge Diamondbacks fan.
Well, you've been saying also all year long, I'm not that in tune with it. I have them to make the playoffs, so I need you guys to be right. So bring a couple. I know left-handed pitchers that are apt are few and far between, so hopefully we have one.
You want them, right? But it's unusual for a team to be without a left-hander to start the season. It was a big deal at the beginning, and now they brought him up and everything. But, I mean, it's nice to see the Diamondbacks bringing up some young arms from Reno, regardless of who they are. So we'll see what happens.
It's nice to see female constituents comment on sports.
Ann's probably more knowledgeable than you and I put together.
I bet. I don't doubt it.
I'm not blowing smoke up.
I'm not going to
it.
listen. I don't care what color shirt you're wearing. I respect everybody's
absolutely.
opinion.
So I just wanted to bring that up because I can't believe I even had it in my notes here. And I forgot to bring it up there at the end.
Well, go D-backs.
It's almost like I can't believe it. Yeah, 10:40
I feel very good
game.
for them. The Padres are surprising me a touch, I have to say.
Really? With all that talent
I didn't expect them to be quite this good this early. Hopefully that balances out and they eventually begin to go the other way.
They've had a lot of comebacks being down 4 runs or more, the Padres. So
maybe they can run out of juice.
Yeah, can you do that all season is kind of the question, right? Or do you start to falter a little bit going forward? But anyway, I wanted to bring that up for everybody.
We got horses too now.
I was gonna say we got Kentucky Derby this weekend. For those of you, the Kentucky Derby kicks off. I don't know what the weather's going to be this weekend.
Beautiful.
I have not looked. It is
ideal, beautiful weather, and everybody in the horse institution is happy about that. For 1 week, like the World Cup here this year, I'll get really in tune to World Cup while it's here. I'll watch it. I'll invest in it very, very lightly because it isn't my gig, but. The Derby, I really like to have a little fun with, and all week long I listen to the unbelievably sharp guests in the horse racing game that VSIN gets on, as well as what you can research on the World Wide Web. And there's great opinions out there. There's a lot of ways to attack this. I won several $1,000s on a trifecta a few years ago. Mm-hmm. And I want to try and capture that approach again into this year. And by that, I mean, I don't want to get carried away betting too much money on all these wild exotics. But at the same time, I'm going to ask my son what horse name he likes, my wife, what one she likes.
A little fun.
Put those in there because I don't want to take it too seriously. It isn't my sport. I'm going to take 5 horses, spin them in a trifecta box. And I think if you do that for $1, it might be $120. So I'll do that for 2 or 3 times. And then that'll be all I do.
Yeah.
Or I'll find, I know there's a couple bombs. I may try and find that. But my favorite bet is the Kentucky Oaks, which is run the day before into the Derby. They have a daily double. So you try and hit the race in one day. If you get that winner, now you got advantage into the next day. Last year, I had that exact same I hit the first side. The next side, I'm still waiting for my horse to cross the finish line. But it's a new year this year, so a lot of ways to attack it. Have fun. If you want to do it, allocate a few dollars out that you're willing to throw in the garbage can. I'm telling you. And since you're just going to throw it in the garbage can, my thought is try for a try. See if I can win 800 or something stupid
try the odds,
for my $250 or $300. Try and win something and cash the ticket. And if I don't, I know I lost a reasonable amount and I move on, whatever that amount may be.
The race starts on Saturday, Churchill Downs, 3:57 for us out here on the West
4
Coast,
o'clock.
basically. Yep. There goes the winner. The favorite here is 5-1 odds for the favorite horse named Renegade going into this weekend. As of this morning, it looks like.
Okay, so if we're going to talk about it like that, then what we got to understand is Renegade. The talk on Renegade is that without question, almost every horse pundit regards him as the best horse, and almost every, except 99 out of 100 of them, say that he's got no chance to win because of the draw of the number one post.
Yes.
These horses are lined up 20 wide. They run for the corner, and if one don't get out and slung around, if he gets caught in traffic, it's madness.
You get pinched against the railing, right?
There's nowhere to go on the inside, and they're all
Exactly.
coming down here at you. So unless unless they're chasing your rear and you're in front, which is what you need to be, they're coming down, and not only that, there's 15 of them, and they're all kicking up mud and dirt in your face. So it
seems like when there's overwhelming favorites in this race too, they rarely win.
No
also,
overwhelming favorite this week. Most regard this wide open. I've got the VSIN Kentucky Derby preview here, which is really good. You can. For me, all I need to do is read 2 or 3 guys I trust in the horse business, see what they think, and then I have an inside ace of spades that I pull every single time I go to big races, and that's my good buddy from Omaha, Nebraska, Larry Rosso, who's going to be up in Vegas. I was supposed to be there this weekend. I had matters that kept me here. Nonetheless, he's going to be up there, and so after I do my research, I'll have my notes, and then I'll simply have him take a photo of his positions, and then I get those, and then that will be the master by which I maybe add some of these other ones in. Mm-hmm. And so everyone has their process. I'm going to be very educated in how I throw my money in the trash basket, because that's probably what's going to happen.
And then Robert, because Robert always talks about Bob Baffert,
Baffert's got a horse.
He's got 2 of them.
One scratched.
Oh, one did scratch. Okay, I knew there was a rumor of one scratching, but as of yesterday, he had 2 of them. So the one did officially scratch?
Hold on, let me make sure I'm talking straight here. No, both are in.
Okay.
And 4 litmus tests, 50-1. 14, one that's being talked about. Yeah. Potente, Hernandez on him at 20-1.
Yeah. We make fun of Bob Baffert because they put the odds on that horse.
He's a U of A guy and was in my fraternity at the U of A.
Now that horse is going to be DQ'd or
no, actually, that horse. If you leave that horse out, you do it at your own risk. That's foolish to do.
That's what Robert
talks about. Not to mention, he's
Bob
been
Baffert.
kicked out of this race the last several years. Don't think he's coming with some bum 3-legged goat.
He's going to be highly scrutinized. But there you go, Robert. I got ahead of that. 2 horses this weekend. There was rumor that one was going to scratch, but you have until, I think,
a Baffert horse scratched in the Oaks the race.
Is that what it was? Okay, all right.
Bottle of Rouge.
Yeah, and so you have until, I want to say, later today, right, before you can scratch a horse.
I don't.
9 a.m. Friday is
I'm
when.
impressed you would know that.
Yeah, 9 a.m. Friday is you have to scratch the horse, otherwise they don't run. And then they actually have like eligible horses are there in case somebody scratches, and then you can then those horses fill in.
Saturday morning when I get Rosso's numbers, this dude reads a horse form like I read Durant's food menu. I'm telling you, this guy is good.
When it comes, and only the Kentucky Derby, when it comes to the Kentucky Derby, I can talk to you like I just study horse racing like nobody's business. But when you get to the Preakness or any of the other ones, I'm just like, I don't know what's happening.
He's
It's just, there's something about the Kentucky Derby being first that is just so much fun to get involved with.
Yeah, I've learned as I get older, I like horses more and more as I get older. I spend more and more of my bankroll on it. I allocate time to the Saratoga meet each summer that's coming up here in a few months. And so I'm trying to get better at it within reason because my line's always been, all right, Packers, Bears, Giants and the Redskins, Cubs and Cardinals. I have my hands full picking the winner of those clashes between giants, right? But wait, now you're going to say, hey, Lou, you don't have to pick the Bears or the Packers. Here, I got 20 horses running over here. Pick one of those. Who's winning? I'm not your guy for that, okay? Yeah, I got my hands full with the green team and the purple team, let alone 20 nags. So I try it. We have fun with it, and we get
I don't get like I watch like the VSIN guys and a couple other entities, and I'm like, how do you know that horse is good? And they're like, well, it ran well here. I'm like, yeah, but that's not the Kentucky Derby. Like what? So
that's what they have to do, though.
It does crack me up. I have no idea how you pick winners, but it is fascinating to me to read about them and see it, and then see how they perform. So I don't know. There's just something about maybe it's because it's the first one in the whole deal, where it's the most exciting for me. But
but these horses have been running for 9 months to get to here. So
interesting. Renegade hasn't won on any of the pre ones to get into this race, whereas all the other ones have won a couple, 2-3 times. I think it was Renegade that hadn't won.
I mean, wouldn't you rather? Yeah, that seems odd, but wouldn't you rather have somebody coming in with some mo? And they also say that
I'm talking about the tracks leading up to.
They say the Florida Derby is the most taxing and similar to the Kentucky Derby that you can get in a prep race, and so naturally, then you look at Wallaby and some of these horses that ran in that race.
Yeah, and it does fascinate me because, you don't know. It's not like a basketball game where you're like, oh, so and so's not feeling well today, or leading into the game. Yet literally going, what if that horse wakes up and he's just not feeling it that day?
I ask my wife to look at the names and pick one, and I don't care what the odds are that she picks. You use it, right? That you have to. To me, I have to do that. Yeah. That's keeping a loose grip on the golf club.
Well, that's the other thing I look, because I do study what all the experts say. A lot of them are so wrong on this race.
Oh, sure, 20 horses.
And it's like, oh my God, I like this horse here. And that, like you said, that horse is still running from last year.
There's nowhere though.
That guy wasn't even close to being in the front of this deal. So that's what fascinates me about this. But I'm excited. I love the Kentucky Derby. I love watching it. It's quick. You don't have to invest a ton of time into it to watch it.
The fastest 2 minutes in sports,
Yeah,
Steve-o.
it's amazing to see it, how it goes. But that's this weekend.
And you'll be watching it, too.
I will, absolutely.
Okay, good.
Like I said, for some reason, the Preakness I'll catch if it's on, and other races. But this one, it's just leading up to it. I've been reading about it all week, getting ready for it, and reading about the horses and going into this weekend. And I don't know. Maybe it's the first race thing.
I feel the same way. I'm fired up for it. It's fun. I've been betting some of these pre-races, so I kind of have an idea.
Yeah. And there's no UFC, obviously. That'll be over long before
the UFC fits perfectly into that. And not only that, by the time the UFC ends and the horse race starts, even the BS in front.
Yeah,
that's 6-7 hours.
And that's what
Uncle Louie got nap time.
And that's I used to go up to Turf Paradise for this race, and you dress up and you go up there, and they have all this stuff there, and you bet on all the pre-races, and you make a day of it.
Yes,
and stuff like that. It's so much fun.
They still have that up there. Unfortunately,
do they still do it?
What's happening in the race industry is just a tragedy of epic proportion, but it's not going away. What is going away is the horse racing industry, unfortunately, can't attract young people. It's all old raisins me that are all go to. I mean, in Vegas, horse books are shrinking. Sports books are going this way. That's all you have to see. But it is what it is. It's going to be a fun event. I'm hoping to catch lightning in a bottle, but more than likely, I'm going to be a short Italian that can't jump, and from the free throw line, I'm going to put one up and get nothing but air.
Yeah, but it's part of the fun, right?
Yes,
for it to happen
for 2 minutes
and stuff like that.
I'm a potential.
You don't, unless you want to watch, like you said, you want to watch the pre-race stuff and things to that, and the races beforehand. Literally, this is 2 minutes of your time. Tune in at like 3:50. You'll be off of it by 4:00. 4:15.
Oh, no, I mean, but it's supposed to run at 4.
They have so much pomp and circumstance
Yeah,
that it could go longer. Yeah.
No, but I think the actual race is scheduled for like 4:59.
Oh, it's not that long, is it?
Yeah, I think that you can see.
Well, no, it's 3:59 our time. Three. What did I say it was earlier?
Are you sure?
Yeah, 7. So that's when the actual race is supposed to block. I could be wrong on that. That's what I remember it being there. I know we're fighting over starting time.
6:57 Eastern.
Yeah, so 3:57 our time.
So
yeah.
4. Okay.
That's when they are supposed to race. It'll be later than that, a little bit, but a few minutes.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
that is when you want to tune in, and then you're just watching it for 10, 15 minutes.
Well, they're going to give you another half hour time to bet.
That's the thing. They overhype it, definitely, from that side. But Lou, also the NHL playoffs are going on. I was looking at your numbers last week, my man, or over the weekend. Woo! Lou, you've rebounded on the NHL side and with all your stuff. I got to give you props for this because you are a guy that comes in here and you say, I sucked. I was terrible. When you do well and do this well, it's pretty impressive.
Well, first of all, thank you. I'm used to having solid success in hockey, and 2 years ago I broke about even, which was highly unusual, and I wasn't happy with it going into last year. Then last year was really amazing. It's like when you're a decent golfer but you've lost it and you just can't find it. I was the least confident. I couldn't hit it was a perfect storm again. And so this year I refocused, retooled, rethought, and we've attacked it very similarly as far as my modeling and how I look at the teams, but way different how I bet it. Fewer futures, no series bets in this first round, a lot more watching. I played game by game only. And so, and I've only used a half a unit per bet. Haven't even bet a unit yet outside of the futures that were wagered at the beginning of the season, and everybody knows those. The only difference between what we'll go over now are the Conn Smythe futures that I've seeded throughout my webpage. Anyway, so let's get to tonight, Thursday. So into tonight, favorites 20 and 19. Okay,
Yes.
Yeah, no biggie. Over under, the unders are actually 17, 15, and 7.
Really?
Road teams, and that's what I want to concentrate on, 20 and 19. 20 and 19 on the road. Okay, not so bad. Gamblu results, 20 and 12, up 5.97 units. Let's call it 6 units, even though it's a little less than that, because 6 units at half, that means that we're up 12 times to get to 6 units. Happy to be that way. Last night had Montreal. They pick us up, so 165, and then you lose a unit on Pittsburgh and Washington. So you lose 2, you pick up 165, so 1 and 2, but you only lose 35 cents. I'll do that all day, just as long as I get back to winning these things. So right now, great profit. Great return on investment, but we're not through the first round yet. Not time to start singing praises and putting feathers in your hat. The time to stay focused and keep doing what we're doing is now. I'm not rushing into changing my bet. I'm too superstitious for that. Let's see what the next few days holds. We'll get to the end of the round, and then we'll recalibrate. But it's fun to be on the right side and now having some confidence when I look at these handicaps and look at my numbers, as opposed to last year when I was just really, I had really lost a lot of my confidence. So
yeah, no, it's amazing. And the reason why I say God bless you for this is because I look at these series right now, the ones still available, and I just shrug my shoulders. Like, I have no idea what's happening in these series. One score games, overtimes, battling it out, and I'm just like, wow. Like, going into these games, I'm even going into them going, ooh.
I think that's how a lot of regular season hockey bettors are going into them also, because they're chasing home teams.
Yeah.
And you can see if you're chasing home teams, you're chasing the team whose number comes out at X.
Yeah.
And by the time they drop the puck, it's X plus whatever, because everyone betting the home team.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you consider the road team, not only are you getting a good, solid team away from distraction, but you're getting a team that opens at one number, and then by the time they drop the puck, you're getting a better price. And the bookmakers know they're going to get hit on the home team, but the price still keeps growing. And so that's from the hordes of public on the home team. And that's why if you read through my blog on hockey, I beg you, every single day's blog, wait till the last minute, because I give 2 or 3 bets. Well, the third bet isn't for 3 hours. You're not betting it now because we're betting road dogs mostly. You're going to bet it right before they drop the puck to get that extra 7 cents of profit. We squeeze every bit of penny out of profit that we can. And if we lose, we only lose a half a unit. We rarely bet more. I rarely bet 110 to win 10. I'll find a way to manipulate that.
Absolutely. So tonight, just to give you an idea, 2 games tonight.
Yep.
Stars are on the road in Minnesota. Right now, Dallas Stars are plus 102. Dogs going into this one on the road on the money line. And then Edmonton's at Anaheim tonight. Anaheim's actually the dog tonight at home, plus 110 for them at the home side. So that's just to give you an idea of what you're talking about on the line here going into these games tonight.
Right. So I would say in Dallas and Minnesota, it's Dallas is plus 102. It'll be more than that because the people hitting Dallas now are wise guys.
Yeah. So you're saying wait till the puck drops at 4 p.m. our time
because he's running right to the home team. And the same thing with with Edmonton and Anaheim, the perception's going to be must win for Edmonton. That's very attractive money on Anaheim. Who is Anaheim got the 3-2 lead?
Yes.
Right, and they're home and they're getting plus money.
And Edmonton hasn't been playing well. That Draisaitl woke up last game, scored 2 goals, but I think a lot. That's what I was going to ask you here because to me, Anaheim's the bet tonight for me on this, even though they are the home team because of the way Edmonton's played. But I don't know. Hey,
Edmonton seems to play their best hockey with their back against the wall. That's how they got to Edmonton to lose this last game. So for me, it's Edmonton or pass tonight.
All right. So that's the difference.
And that would be a favorite, and that's why I'm going to wait and let that minus whatever 125.
Minus 130 right now.
Yeah. I'm going to wait and see if I can get that to 116 or 120, and then look.
And go from that perspective. So good outing here for Lou. And I've been telling everybody, man, the Colorado Kings series was fun for us guys that love hockey. But for the general public, it probably would have been a boring series. Same thing with Carolina, Ottawa. But the series that are still going on, I'm telling people, even if you're not a giant hockey fan, you're missing out on some fun hockey right now in this round coming up here. To tune it in as well is what I'm telling everybody.
And most people will think that, oh my gosh, how great is it for Carolina and Colorado to have a week off in between series? And I'll tell you that in my experience, it's absolutely the worst thing could possibly happen. If we want to beat either of those two, the recipe would be for them to sweep their first round series, be on the shelf for 8 days before they play again, and then have to go against a team that either went to 6 or 7 and has their legs under them. Most people think, oh, no, that's ass backwards. You want the rested team. Yeah, I want the rested team if that series gets to Game 7. But in Game 1, I don't want them.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. I was telling everybody earlier that the Colorado and Carolina, now they have Philly. I expect Carolina to kind of dominate that series, but Game 1 is the one you want to pay attention to if you want to,
That's
have
going to be
some
a light,
there.
quick fighter against a big, heavy bruiser with power. That'll be a great series.
Yeah, so it'll be fun to watch there. And well, I tell you what, Lou, let's take our break here. College World Series is coming up. We'll talk more of that next week because we're getting into regional stuff out there, but we got to talk last week's UFC. We had a local kid fight, and Lou got the win. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about a couple of other fights there, and then lead into Perth, Australia this week. Overnight fight for us here in the Americas. We'll talk about that. Come on back with Uncle Lou, the main event. And we're back here. And don't forget, guys, we put these up. We put the whole shows up, of course, on YouTube, TME Media AZ. Rumble, it's on as well with that Real Matrix show there. We utilize that, rumble.com/user/TME Media. Free podcast system, but we always put Uncle Lou's segment up separate as well. There's an interview category for you if you just want to get Hey, no, I won't be insulted, folks. Just want to listen to Uncle Lou. It's just interview section on there for you to watch and listen to as well out there. We put it out on social media as well for you to find it. We appreciate everybody that listens, especially everybody across the ponds here, right down in those South Asian and New Zealand and Australia here this weekend.
That's flattering, but real, I don't want to overlook all the locals.
No, of
and
course.
Regional, meaning United States, Canada folks that are good to us too. So thank you, everybody.
I'm actually surprised because Vegas has so much UFC knowledge and people talking in. I'm surprised we get so many people from Nevada and Las Vegas. We got to thank them as well. For that, but last week,
the thorough ones that do their research know where to get opinions
to go to, right?
No, I don't. And I'm not saying they use everything I release, but I'm sure they listen to what I say, and then they walk away and say he's got something, or they walk away and say
or
he's washed up. One or the other.
I was telling you about that final fight last week where everybody was on the. We'll talk about it in a minute. But even I was like questioning, like you last week, like, oh, Lou, why is Lou the only one on this guy? It was pretty funny.
It's nervous when that happens because I know it. You can see it in the line movement. You know you're sitting there naked, and not only that, I promised I wouldn't bet the older guy, and Sterling was what 7 years the older guy. Everything felt wrong until round one rang, and then everything felt right.
Yeah, it was amazing to see. But, hey, sometimes you stick your neck out there, right, and look like the genius. But we had a couple MMA guys, MMA lab guys here in this fight. Jackson McVeigh was up against Dumas here. Performance of the night win as well for them. Ended up being a submission. First round, 2 minutes, 14 seconds. Local kid McVeigh getting that win in this fight. Tell us about him.
Yeah, McVeigh's probably just a year and a half, 2 years at the lab, and he's come in and they've taken him under his wing, and he's become part of the family. And they do great cultivation. They have a great family there, but there's coaching and work going on, and he's always in the gym working with Jared Cannonier, who's now kind of the leader of the larger group of guys, Eric McCollum, who we'll talk about in a second. Mm-hmm. Anyway, they got, McVeigh was 0-2 in the UFC. He needed a win. You can't be 0-3 really. They give him this guy, and this other kid has been distracted because of all the trouble that he's been in. I'm not kidding. The guy has been in tremendous trouble with all kinds of distractions, and so. I don't want to say specifically what I know of what they were saying to this kid, but they were inciting this young man, McVeigh, telling him, you don't win this fight. So he was ready to go, and he showed that he was ready to go. And furthermore, his training partner and teammate, Eric McCollum, who fought this big, huge, muscle-bound Vieira from Brazil. Mm-hmm. I told you what was going to happen with him. He's going to look great in the first round, then he's going to get all swole up and slow down. McCollum had a very, very good fight, and the lab goes 2-0 on the UFC. I couldn't have been prouder for those kids, for my friend, the coach, and for the whole atmosphere. That was fun.
I don't know what McCollum closed at, but I had gotten him in there at plus 250 or 255, I believe, going into that for McCollum over Vieira there. McVeigh was the favorite in that fight, but not only did they win, though, for the local kids up there at MMA Lab, but, I mean, those were impressive fight wins for them as well. So, the MMA Lab is somebody that doesn't know anything about them, never been up there. I got to get up there with you one Saturday. But they're putting these fighters together right, if I could put them that way. There's no controversy. It's just they go out there. Even if they lose, they're going to be in these fights and battle it out.
Yeah, they're a renowned gym. If you're going to name 7 U.S. gyms, or I'll even go further and say 7 from across the world, MMA Lab's going to be one of those. So they have great company. He'd tell you that, I just like to, be mentioned with him. And, he's a very humble dude, and he's a father figure to these guys. He isn't that, rabid kind of a coach. And so as humble as he is, tells you how good they are, because that's the BJJ way.
Well, that tells you, they focus on the right things. They're not focusing on all the wrong things there. The more humble you are in these sports. I believe that 100%.
No, he's got and then Trayshawn Gore, remember him just a few weeks before, He goes into a fight plus 500 and beats the brakes out of this Russian, another MMA lab kid. So they're feeling some momentum this week. They have, I think, 4 or 5 guys fighting at Celebrity Theater tonight.
Oh, the fight night thing.
The fight night thing.
Whatever it's called.
Yes, Cinco de Mayo, I think is. And so
it's not fight night, but
there's a big event, and there's I think 5 or 6 lab guys there. So of course the whole crew will be there, and that'll be fun.
Absolutely. The other fight I wanted to talk about last week there in the Meta Apex there in Las Vegas is the Sterling Zalal fight, the main card here. Like I said, I was joking around with you. You were on Sterling last week. You said you liked Sterling. Back then he was plus 105. I saw him at plus 115 at one point on Saturday. I don't know what he ended up at there.
We had 135 on the digital magazine because it was Tuesday.
That was Tuesday, yeah. So that's why you got to listen to his Sneak Tea podcast and follow that stuff, folks.
Or just go to the webpage. Yeah. I publish it there.
Absolutely. But everybody was on Zalal. I'm sitting there, and even the commentators are like, Zalal, 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 Zalal. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh, what did Lou get me into on this one? There goes my $5. I was going to buy some nachos with it. Now I'm just wasted it. Sterling goes out there, unanimous decision, 5 rounds. Fantastic fight for him, Lou. And those ones got to feel great when everybody's against you, and you just take the chance.
The first thing Crouch taught me was that kryptonite to dynamic, elite, world-class BJJ is the American wrestler. The first thing he taught me, because I'm asking him, how do you build the correct fighter? And here's this BJJ 5th degree black belt under the Gracie family telling me that the reason is because the American wrestlers are grinding all the time, working their butt off, dropping weight, and they're mean as junkyard dogs. And the BJJ guys are so used to people rushing at them that they can submit them in 30 seconds. And if a fight gets dirty, they have a harder time competing, especially with a wrestler that ain't going anywhere. And so this wrestling thing is real. It was the determining factor in that handicap for me. And, even a blind squirrel finds an acorn once in a while, and you turn the page and move on to the next fight.
It's rare, though, that a fight's starting, and I'm like, oh, Lordy, what did I do? Why did I do that?
That's actually a feeling you want to have when you go into a fight.
And it was just kind of comical. Just thinking about how much you were hyping this kid, and because it's rare that you see that everybody, not focused. It was just Zalal. They wouldn't say negative stuff about him. It was just Zalal. And even I think when he was walking out, they were like, Zalal. And I was like, man, pay attention to this kid. But it's rare that happens, and so it's pretty funny.
It just rankled him more.
So this week, though, we go to Perth, Australia. As you said, 1 a.m. is the pre-card here. 4 a.m. Eastern, 4 a.m. our time is the main card coming up here as well. I think we're catching a lot of this on the replay, I think, Lou, is what I'm going to be doing.
I totally get it. This is waking up at 2 in the morning to watch fights. That's above and beyond the Call of Duty. For many, I get it.
The 4 a.m. one actually would probably be better because I do get up that early during the week anyway, 4:30. But yeah, the 1 a.m. prelims, those will be replays.
What I do for the 4 a.m.er is because the Starbucks by me opens at 5. And so I'm just timing the fight, which fight it's going to be. And hopefully it's a woman's fight, so I can get my coffee and come back in quick time. But there's some interesting things about this fight card. 12 fights got burned down, 13 got burned to 12, and I think now we're back to 13. They found some stand-in for the guy. I'm not even talking about that fight.
You're talking about Ben Johnston and Wes Schultz,
no.
I'm assuming? Oh,
no, I'm not. I'm talking about another fight that came off, and I whited it out so I don't have
no worries.
But for the 12 I'm tracking, you got 12 Aussies fighting at home against people that have to get to Australia. Now, you either swim or you boat or you fly. And
those sound
most
exhausting.
People coming from Brazil or U.S. are flying. And so with flight, there's travel, bloating, weight cut issues potentially. And the Perth fighter comes from somewhere in Australia where there's way less travel circumstances. So in every fight, you got a Aussie against somebody that's traveling in. Then, if to make matters worse, you have 8 fights with 5-year difference or more, and there's only one 5-year difference. I mean, there's an 11, a 10,
Ooh.
a 9. You got and in many of those situations, 6 Aussies are at home fighting someone that has to come in to fight them that is older than them, well older, and they have to do the traveling. So there's some great advantage in the Aussie side here. We're going to have to hasten slowly with some of the underdogs that we may want to take, especially understanding last week that underdogs went ridiculous. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 6, or 8 and 4.
Wow, underdogs. Wow.
And I'll tell you also, when that happens, I should kill that card, and I didn't. So that's a little bit of a disappointment, but it is what it is. Anyway, back to the advantage in this card. The younger Aussie guy at home, check his price. He's probably minus 1,000, but we might want to be aware that those are fights that have tremendous advantage attached to them. Of the 12 fights, 7 are at 170 pounds or more. So they're giving these Aussies, big men going in there to club each other. It should be really, for those that are going to stay up and watch, it's going to be a good fight card.
Yeah, absolutely, and I love the bigger fight, guys. And I don't mean to be doing the lightweights and the flyweights, but the bigger guys, I just enjoy those a little bit more with the power they got. So on the prelims, I'm obviously I'm not interested in it, but I'm going to skip a couple here and go straight to this, then we'll go back. But the Jacob Malkoun and Gerald Meerschaert here battling this out. I like Meerschaert here, not in this fight. I just like him as a fighter. I always pay attention to him. But he's one of those guys that's an 1,100 dog here. I mean, 700 dog for him, 1,100 for Malkoun. Anything to pay attention to in this fight with the guy that I generally like fighting? I mean, obviously he's being set up.
Yeah, we want to pay attention to where the stretcher and the ambulance is because Malkoun, this is going to look more competitive really than it is.
Okay.
Meerschaert's really got a balsa wood beak. I mean, but he's the definition of mama's porcelain chin. And he's lost his last 4 maybe, and it's all by knockout. And Malkoun is a short, squat, little powerful wrestler that has some hands. This is totally a setup fight for Malkoun, who opens minus 600. Now he's minus
1,100.
Yeah. I mean, even Malkoun KO isn't worth it. This is just a fight you hope Meerschaert
That's
doesn't
all I'm
get hurt
asking.
in.
That's all I'm asking. Can he extend this out? Over under is 2.5. One is 160 to the end. That's all I'm asking. Does he have the ability to stretch this fight out a little bit, make it a little bit exciting type of a thing? Is my main question.
If Malkoun wrestles him up.
That's the only way to do it. All
well,
right.
but then if Malkoun gets top position, starts dropping elbows again,
Yeah.
If that fight's 2.5, I have minus 175 to the under though.
I have minus 180 to the under. Did I say something? I'm sorry.
No.
2.5 minus 180 to the under.
Yeah, that should be minus 480 to the under. I think.
Yes, it sounds like it. Right?
I'm just saying.
Yeah, that was all the question I had there was, can this be stretched into a fight, or is this going to be as fast as they say it's going to be? And the other prelims, Lou, I'm going to leave it up to you here. Let me know, because you said there's a bunch that, there's a few that you want to pay attention into this fight as well. So tell us which ones. If we're staying up till 1 in the morning or waking up at 1 in the morning to watch these prelims, what are we paying attention to?
Well, I'd have you wake up although this one's kind of early. This is the second fight of the night, and it's an Aussie McCallum, 27 years old against 35-year-old Gorimbo, coming in, a Zimbabwe fighter, but he's fights out of the U.S. Gorimbo, unfortunately, has a history of getting subbed, and they put him in with this Australian McCallum. You know what he does? He subs guys out. So kind of a setup fight, it looks. McCallum, younger by 8 years, huge advantage. Opens minus 150. Now he's what?
Minus 245.
Minus 245. So they're betting him. He's
Australians.
earned his position here. But let me just say, Gorimbo is no slouch. And we're going to learn a lot about how well he can protect himself, because if he can keep this standing, he's not out of the fight at that huge price. That total 2.5.
Yeah, minus 135 to the under.
To the under, yeah. That's a tough one. Normally, I'd be looking for Gorimbo because I like the price advantage on him, but in Australia against a submission guy might not be the right call pass. So then let's go to the other one. This one's 185. Roston is the Australian against Bryzik from Poland. Now, Bryzik from Poland ain't too bad. He's 4 years the older guy. That's not killer. But Roston's 3 inches taller, has a 3-inch reach advantage. And Roston's what, minus 275?
Minus 170 right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so Roston opens minus 300, and that means there's money coming in on the Polish fighter.
Absolutely, a lot of money. He's plus 142 right now.
I don't know about a lot of money, but enough money to move it that far. And the bottom line is, I think I agree with that money. I think this Bryzik is durable and tough, and Roston in his last, we had him, and give me a little heart palpitation there. So let's see. Bryzik is a potential target in this fight card.
Over under on this one's 2.5 also, minus 180 to the under in this one as well. Does that mean Bryzik, they're expecting Rouston to come in and knock him out or do something to that effect? Or so Bryzik has to avoid that?
Maybe. I'd have to see what Bryzik's history of being knocked out is, but Roston didn't strike me as having an overabundance of power. To me, I like the over there based on that.
Okay, over 2.5 there. Plus 140. Excuse me.
So fight starts 3, you might get even money, and that's where I'd go with that. Just get 10 minutes under your belt.
Let me ask you this really quick on the betting: is this being driven up by the wise guys early in the week, or is the Australian fan base running this up early?
Yeah, usually in these fight cards, these numbers all go towards the hometown guy early and heavy from the local action over there.
So now doesn't mean it necessarily slides back the other way, but you potential to see a swing back closer to the fight from everybody else starting to pay attention around the world?
I mean, really, as we get closer to the fight, the public's going to jump in. Yeah. So it's really from Sunday night to now what we're seeing. Okay. And that's some people that are jumping on the Aussie because he's younger, doesn't have to travel, and is the favored fighter. And that accounts for some of that price range. Dog players like me, I have nothing in this card set out except for into Della Maddalena, and we'll get to that. So I'm really going to sit back and try and find 1 or 2 positions where I can take a guy plus points with some advantage, or take an underdog. And Bryzik might be one. So
are you... Weigh-ins are tonight at 6 p.m. When will the sneak peek come out?
No, you mean the Bout Business.
I'm sorry, the Bout Business. After
tomorrow morning early. I'll do that. Early I'll give myself plenty of time.
Is this something where you're going to be paying really close attention to where, I'm not saying they're going to, but if an Australian guy struggles to cut weight but his opponent doesn't, something you'll be paying attention to or something to that effect?
That's what I pay attention to.
Yeah. Well,
everything that happens during weigh-ins, I pay attention to.
But it'd be more alarming. What I'm asking is, it'd be more alarming for an Australian guy not to hit weight.
I don't predict that. I wait and see what happens and see. What I'm looking for is the guy that comes in.
Lou, I'm asking you to give me something here.
Here's what I'm going to give you. I'm looking for the guy that comes in 10 minutes after weigh-ins and misses by 3 pounds. That's your cheater. And I want to make sure I understand what fight that is. Consequently, it doesn't hurt me to wait until the last gal or guy comes out and weighs on the scale, and they're kind of wobbly, and you can see they worked there. They're a professional. They worked hard to make the weight, and they come within a half a pound, or they barely make it, and then they wobble off. Now, there's a person that's a professional, but they just got done fighting an airplane trip and a weight cut, and they're fighting against a guy been drinking orange juice, eating bananas for an hour and a half. That's advantage. That's why I watch.
Absolutely. So let's get into the main card here. First one up's a heavyweight bout right off the bat. Ty
and Louis.
And Louis Sutherland. I can say Sutherland.
Tai Tuivasa.
Yes, a heavyweight battle here. Australia, England fight going into this right now. Tai is a 218 favorite going into this fight. Over under, and this is 1.5 minus 130 to the over here for these heavyweights.
Yeah, I mean, Tuivasa's been in and out of the UFC. He doesn't train. he wants to train, but he can't. You don't just decide 5 months before a fight you're gonna. You either live the lifestyle or you don't. And this is the guy that does the shoeies. It pours the beer in the shoe and drinks.
Oh,
it.
this is him.
So,
Okay.
so let me just start off by saying that's this guy.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's fighting this guy named Louis Sutherland, who's basically a punching bag from England. But he's big, he's strong, he's got some wrestling, and if he takes Tai down, he's got every shot in this fight. Here is one where Uncle Louis might like Louis a little bit here. And he's an underdog of only, plus 140?
Right now, he is plus 180.
Plus 180. There's one we're going to be real quiet about and maybe take a look at Louis in that one against Tui.
Perfect. And then you've got Shamil Gaziev and Brando Persic here, Australian Bahrain fighters battling out. Another heavyweight fight, 2 in a row.
Yeah, this is Persic is an Austrian who fights out of City Kickboxing in New Zealand. Gaziev's a Russian. Gaziev has the experience, been in with better. The other kid's a little taller, longer, looks the part a little bit more. Gaziev can run out of gas. This is going to be a very, very interesting fight. And at this, right now, Perisic is minus
142.
So the take back on Gaziev plus 115,
Plus
120.
Mm-hmm.
Gaziev maybe. We'll see. He's slow. He's plodding. He's got a big gut. No, I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about Gaziev. I'm talking about Gaziev.
Why are you insulting me over here? Jeez, I'm sitting right here.
Yeah, I'm talking about Gaziev. So we'll see. Gaziev could be a dog spot.
I'm son, I've been insulted. Then you got Rohiki against Ollie Schmidt
pass.
here.
That's the fight.
That's what I was wondering there because I see the picture now of just a blank thing there. Featherweight bout there. So maybe that's your Starbucks run. For that. Then we go to a flyweight fight. Tim Elliott and Steve Ursig here battling it out. A big favorite here for the Australian Ursig coming into this fight.
Yeah, he started just a moderate favorite. And, he's bigger and he's 9 years the younger man. And Elliott, the 39-year-old, coming in off 2 great wins. And his last fight was like August of 25, okay?
Yeah.
And he went in for a broken leg and blood clot operation between that last fight and now. As a 39-year-old fighting at 25 pounds, and he's taking on a 30-year-old Ursig from Australia that needs the fight and is an Australian and has a total line 2.5 over minus $6 billion.
Minus 245 over 2.5 right now.
I mean, normally Elliott would be live as all get out, but the reason the money's coming to Ursig is because the Elliott injury, and I think you're just asking an awful lot out of Elliott this soon.
Yeah, and he hasn't fought since UFC 319 last August.
Last August,
August 18th.
August, and it's now what?
Yeah,
May.
it's almost,
so
yeah.
that's 7-8 months
Yeah.
for a broken leg and a blood clot. Do the math.
Yeah.
And the math says Ursig.
And then next up, we got Benil Dariush and Salkilo. Is that a D or no there? Australian and United States.
Salkilo. 10 years the younger man, tall, long, total submission guy. Has some power and from the, can stand up, has some athleticism. Again, 10 years the younger guy, taller, longer. Dariush, all the experience, world-class fighter. Dariush going to want to try and grapple with this kid and school him. And if he grapples with him and gets him against the fence or on the floor, he will school him. Salkilo may be willing to take the fight to the floor. Where his advantage lies is in space and to try and hit Dariush. Because unfortunately, Dariush's chin looks like brittle porcelain from your Nana's China chest compared to the chin that the Mearshart has. So between Mearshart and Dariush, great grapplers, world class, but they can't afford to get hit. That's a tough business to be in when you're in against guys like this. In Mearshart's case, the guy's sawed off and going to be swinging upward at his chin. And in the case of Salkhild, he's going to be the taller, longer guy, going to be able to have total leverage over Dariush, who must get inside to have success.
Yeah, he's minus 455 to the favorite. Salkhild is. What did he open at, Chance? Does that run his way?
250.
Yeah, so it's really run his way as well. That's the co-main event there, lightweight bout. Then we go to a welterweight bout here to wrap up this fight here. Madalena and Pratis.
What a great fight this is going to be. Pratis has earned this position. He's long. He's lean. He has really bad intentions. He's fast as lightning. He's precise with his kicks, knees, shots, elbows. Uses a lot of unorthodox movement. But he's young. He's enamored with life. He chain smokes, and he's a party boy. And those are the facts. And up until now, he's been able to do both without too much repercussion. So he does and flaunts it that he does both. Meanwhile, on the other side, you got this Jack Madalena, who earned the championship against Bilal Muhammad, then had to fight Makhachev, lost in decisive fashion. But Makhachev rubbed him all over the canvas with wrestling. The good news here with Pratis is Pratis ain't wrestling nobody. This is going to be a stand-up fight. And while Pratis is longer, leaner, and a little taller, Della Madalena's been in with better. He's probably the slicker striker. He's going to have to work his way into the pocket, in my opinion. This fight is built around Madalena taking this fight to the beginning of round 4. If this fight sees the bell to round 4, I think no matter what happens previous to that, from 4 on, I think it'll be a relatively one-sided fight towards the professional fighter in Madalena. And by that, I mean the guy that's not smoking and drinking, the ex-champion focused on having a great performance. While I think Pratis, as a young Brazilian up-and-coming, might be making young man mistakes.
And Pratis is a 122 favorite right now over the Australian. The Australian's a plus 102.
Plus 102. We have Jack Della Madalena in the second leg of parlays to 2 other fighters earlier. And so I think we have something like 1.6 units on Madalena to win 3 point something. So we're way ahead of the game on Madalena, but we're already committed to him at a great price. But to me, if I'm walking into this fight right now and Madalena is an Aussie from Australia, the ex-champion, has championship fight experience, taking on a guy from Brazil, has to fly in, I like the advantages and the fight advantages and the logistic advantages Madalena has.
I mean, if I was analyzing this like I do on stuff, and usually it means nothing, but there hasn't been a big run up on Madalena here like there has been on the other Australian fighters.
Well, there has, because Pratis opened minus 175.
Oh, yeah, you're
so
right.
From 175 down to minus 120 means that we saw some Jack Della Madalena action.
All right, perfect. That's the main
we caught
card.
him at minus 105. So, I mean, I would have been better rate until now. So, no problem jumping plus 102 or plus 100.
And that fight's going to go off Saturday morning, 6:15 a.m., Lou.
Oh, baby, that'll be great.
Hey, don't miss it, Lou says as well, for this fight. So, Perth, generally these Australian fights are a lot of fun. We have to experience it like they do over there. Usually they accommodate our viewing pleasure. They're not doing that this time here, but
and good for the Perth people that get to go prime time in it. I love it.
Absolutely. So, Lou, anything else on UFC you want to add for this week?
No more UFC action. Let's have fun with hockey, UFC, Kentucky Derby. Remember, keep it fun and simple. We're just having fun. So,
by the way, the next fight up there is the one from New Jersey. That's the
Newark, New Jersey.
Yeah, Strickland and
Chimaev.
Chimaev. Thank you. For that one in that UFC numbered fight there. I don't remember what number.
That'll be a fun one.
But that'll be a fun one to talk. We'll talk that next week, Lou. Sounds
Thanks,
like a plan.
everybody.
We'll be into the second round of the NHL playoffs next week as well, so that'll be a good time as well. And I'm kind of rooting for a bunch of Game 7s as somebody without rooting interest on the NHL. I want to see a bunch of these series in this first round go to 7, so I'm rooting for that coming up.
Me
But
too.
when we come back, of course, we'll be back tomorrow, I should say, 8 to 10. Dale will join us all show tomorrow after he's been gone all week and joined us for just 30 minutes today. So we'll get caught up on everything. Of course, the segment of What Happened to Steve this week coming up as well. We'll talk about that. Come on back, folks. We'll see you then. McCollum on business. I'm sorry. The main event. Whatever show this is. See you later.
No, McCollum on Business is